Alright, welcome along to the channel. A little update for you on the whole bad back situation here. If you've seen the last upload, I think it was the last long upload on the channel, I was talking about going back to work. And yeah, that was like the first day into it. So I finally finished the first week, and thankfully the decision to go back on this week was something that I had made that decision to do because it was a 4-day week instead of the usual 5-day week at work. And honestly, when I got to the end of work yesterday, currently Friday at the recording of this video, by the end of work Thursday, I had said to my team leader, I'm like, you know what, I'm glad that this was a 4-day week, because I genuinely, at this point, I don't have the 5th day in me. So it was a good break-in to getting back into the workplace. Went reasonably well. Some frayed tempers on and off. I'm not going to lie, I get frustrated very easily with just where I'm at and what I'm going through right now. Of course, I'm not smoking anymore. I've been off the cigarettes for a long time now. It's been that long that I've kind of lost track of it. But, if you've been a smoker for as long as I was a smoker, whenever you get frustrated or be in pain or whatever, having a cigarette is something that helps. It does. It is what it is. In the mind of a smoker anyway. Like, a lot of people will tell you at the end of the day, and there's truth to back it up, there's research to back it up, that cigarettes don't actually reduce stress or anything out there. They do have the opposite effect, but in the mind of a smoker, getting that addiction, that nicotine into you, that's like an opposite thing to what it really is. It's a difficult one to explain, but if you were ever a smoker, you'll understand. And if you've never smoked, I would highly recommend you don't. And on top of that, of course, I'm trying not to use pain medication going through this, as I've been through it before. I know the score. When you are using painkillers, whenever you're doing a physical job, you tend to hurt yourself a lot easier in the long run, because all a painkiller does is disguise the pain. It's not actually correcting any problems, it's not actually taking anything out of the equation. It's in the name. The pain has been killed for a little while, so you're able to go that little bit further. But the damage you're doing to yourself in the time period where that painkiller is working, you don't know how much damage you're doing to yourself. Now, physically, I said I didn't have an extra day, and my 4 days was enough. The way it is now, it was a good break-in, as I say, but what I've realised is the pain where I have most pain, that's where obviously where the problem's at. That's at the very base of the spine, 2 or 3 discs up from your butt cheeks, let's just say. So what I've found now is getting back into it. The longer I'm on my feet, that's the big thing too. I've been sat about for the vast majority of the time over the past 3.5 months, whatever it might be. I think it actually worked out in work days, 60 days or something. I wasn't there. But of course, sitting about doing nothing. A little bit of exercise over the last 2 weeks, as far as getting some physio in there to try and loosen myself up. This week has been the longest I've been on my feet in months. So I've got 2 breaks and an 8-hour shift. So like, you go like a 3-hour stretch before you hit that first break. By the time I was getting into that middle part of the 2nd hour, the pain was starting to kick in a major way. By the time you were coming to the end of that 3rd hour, just in the mouth of your break time, the pain was insane. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, you're probably looking at about an 8 at that stage. And it was the same each time I was on my feet doing my job throughout the day over the 4 days. It just sort of was leveling out at that. You're okay getting into that part of the day. the hour, and you were starting to feel it by the third hour. It was a screaming pain. But what I have noticed over the last 2 to 3 days I've been in work, the recovery time is getting shorter each time. Intense pain within those 3 hours. But if I go to take a break, and not to give too many details away of where I work at, when you get off your job to go for your break, it takes a bit of time to actually get changed up out of your work gear into your civvies, let's just say, go for your break. The time you get to actually sit down and take a break, you're looking at probably, out of a 25-minute break, probably 11 to 12 minutes, I would reckon. You could easily just sit down, relax, chill out for a little bit, and then you have to go back, get changed again to go down. So out of that whole break, there's a good part of it taken away just of getting off your job, getting to the canteen, whatever it may be. But as I say, that screaming agony at the 3-hour mark, that 12 minutes or so sitting down, relaxing, was enough to, in the last couple of days, reset that, you know. So when I was coming back from that 25-minute break, the pain was, I wouldn't say gone, you know. The further through the day you get, just at this point, I just feel the weight of my body on top of my spine at the moment. So I definitely do need to lose that extra weight to get that core bulk back up again. But slowly but surely wins the race, as they say. Yeah, the recovery again is getting a lot quicker, and if I can keep this momentum up now, keep going, and hopefully if I don't do something stupid and mess this up for myself again, hopefully this recovery will be, it's not going to be 100%. I'm not going to be stupid enough to say this is it, I have it worked out, I've cracked the code, we're going to get over this injury, that's never going to bother me again. That's not the case. This is something that's here forever. But so far, fingers crossed, things is looking good. So hopefully now, over this weekend, I've got a 3-day weekend, I can do that little bit of physio, build that core a little bit, introduce a few exercises that'll be more targeted under the base of the back and the core muscles itself, and try and slowly build them up over time. But we'll just have to see how it goes. But so far, that first 4 days was a surprise, other than my own bad temper at times. But again, as I say, when you're not smoking and you're trying not to use that pain medication to keep yourself going, the psychological side of that is a whole battle of its own. It is, nobody is more thick-tempered than someone that's just sore and doesn't have a release from it. That's where I'm at the moment, because as I say, that's why I brought up the whole cigarette thing. If I was still smoking, I could easily sit down and trick my brain for a little while to take my focus off the problems with the back and the pain that I'm going through. Frustrating cycle. So the two of them things. Oh, someone's in trouble. Listen to this. I can hear an ambulance coming. So yeah, good man. Turned the siren off going past the house. Yeah, it's just that's where I'm at the moment. Physically sore, mentally just frustrated, to say the least. No real way of dealing with it other than losing weight and exercise at this point. I'm not going to mess up and start smoking cigarettes again just as a way of dealing with this. I'm trying to get myself through the work day. We're not going down that road anymore. Yeah, so that's the update. Back to work. Successfully got through, successfully as possible, and yeah, a few speed bumps along the line, but that's to be expected whenever you're working with a permanent life-changing injury. But we'll just try it a day at a time, see how we get on. and hopefully I can keep this recovery on track as best as possible. Right, that's going to do it. Hope whatever you're doing, you're having a good day and a little bit less frustrating than my days at this stage. So stay safe, and I'll talk to you in the next video.